Check one, check two.
He stood up for what he believed.
Right.
You say what to my kid? I'll push your face.
What? Shut the fuck up.
Check one, check two. Y'all just came into the middle of a conversation, dog. If you checking us out on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you checking us out, make sure you share with a friend, man. Hit that like button. We'll give y'all a few minutes to pop in here, though. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button so you can get notified every time we go live, because we be in this bitch fooling a little bit, dog.
Get your ass in here, bro.
Right. I know it's Saturday and shit.
That shit like we don't.
I was saying we about to start. We getting high. Yeah, that's what I said.
Get your ass in here, bro.
We on that though. We on the screen and shit. Fuck, we just go get to it, dog. All right, so we want to welcome y'all back to another edition of the BBW Happy Hour, dog.
Happy Hour.
This is the live show that we jump into after we record a few episodes for the next couple weeks. So we recorded those episodes and now we get to come live to y'all, dog. So if you're not familiar with us, then you better get familiar, because everybody loves BBW. That's beards, bourbon, whiskey, and that's a podcast. I got my man Q in the building today, though.
What up, what up, what up?
Got Angry Principal as usual.
What's up?
Got my man Bo holding it down.
Oh, shit.
And of course, man, it's your boy Q Lewis holding it down live from the 48205, hiding a motherfucker, dog. Let's talk a little shit, man, because we've been gone for like damn near a year.
About to talk a lot of shit.
Low key, we got a lot of shit to talk about, but we're going to start with some current shit, though, all right?
A lot of shit.
So first of all, let me ask you this. How long is Juwan Howard's arms to slap a nigga 4 people away, nigga? 4 people. So unless you live it on a rock.
Wingspan, like no wonder he played in the league all them years, right?
Got to be long as hell.
I'm telling you.
So unless you've been living under a rock, dog, you know what we're talking about. Juwan Howard, who has since been suspended for 5 games, which is the duration of the regular season, for slapping the shit out of assistant coach. So let's talk about that shit. First of all, I think that, well, let me ask you this though, 5 games. Do y'all think they overdid it? Was 5 games too much, or did he get what he was supposed to get?
I mean, I get it, right? So,
Yeah.
professional, well, not professional, collegiate sports, high level collegiate sports, there is some level of professionalism, right? But that should have been realized by the Wisconsin head coach and just expecting Juwan Howard to stop and speak to him.
Right.
He ain't got to speak to nobody. Don't put your fucking hands on me, right? So now professionalism has went out the door because you have not put your hands on me. Now what happens from this point is because of what you have just done.
Right.
Yes, your assistant coach got the shit smacked out of him because he's talking shit to my boy. I'm responsible for these dudes, their lives. Like these are my babies, these are my kids. You know what I mean? Like I love these dudes, even though I'm hard, I love them. Can't nobody, hell no. It's just like a parent, right? I'm not a parent. I'm not a parent, right? But
I was just about to say, it is just like a parent. These your kids.
Yeah,
kids.
These are my kids.
Right.
No. If anybody will say some shit to them, I am.
Exactly. Right? It's gonna be me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't put your hands on me.
I'm super curious of what Dog said though.
The white privilege for you to put your hands on me to stop me and make me talk to you.
Right.
That's the part
That means you think you above me and you have some kind of dominance over me. No.
That's the part they're not talking about enough for me.
You got with the right one.
Yeah,
the right
for sure.
one said, no, you don't put your hands on me, and he went off.
Right.
I know you're not supposed to act that way. You're supposed to have some kind of type of decorum. You're not supposed to put your hands on somebody else. You're supposed to be the example. But you man put your hands on me, you stopped me.
Right,
and
exactly.
You came over and said something to one of my boys, and I smacked the crap out of you. Okay.
That's it.
Now, some idiots on sports talk radio talking about he should be suspended for the whole season. No, he did what he was supposed to do. That's grown man stuff. A grown man made a decision, and another grown man handled it.
That's it. Simple as that.
Man, shit to me.
Now both of y'all coach and shit. So do y'all look at it any different and shit? Like I go to you first, Q. Like y'all looking at it any different being the coach? Like so being on that end, like you looking at any different?
No idea what he said to that kid.
Exactly. Right.
So whatever he said, that coach still got to defend his players. He's responsible for them. Those parents trust that coach with their kid.
Right.
They're paying money for that kid to be there. They're
Exactly.
invested in the program. You invested in the program as a coach. That's your kid.
Yeah.
So don't, I would have mushed his face too.
That mushed his face.
Flat out. Mush your face. Get up off me. Don't touch me. Don't talk to me. I ain't got nothing to say.
See, that's the second time in 2 years that a white coach has tried to get in Juwan Howard's face to get him to react, and he's reacting.
Yeah.
So on that part, yeah, he's got to do a better job of controlling himself. There's no way around that.
Yeah.
That's a multi-million-dollar business you're the CEO of.
Yeah, for sure.
As the head coach of Michigan basketball. Same time, you don't have a right. Everybody knows, okay, leave him alone.
Yeah.
Unless they're trying to get something started. I think they actually are trying to get that reaction out of him.
Yeah.
Because they know that's a dangerous man with
Yeah,
that kind
you
of
can't hear
program and that kind of money behind him.
Well,
so yeah, they trying to
five
make
He said he can't hear.
5 games, but he's alumni.
Yeah, I see, but the mic's
You
coming
know what
up.
I'm saying?
I'm not
That's an
sure.
alumni. He's playing for school pride, so like he has the whole booster program behind him. There's no worries behind him.
He talking about, hold on, what?
Smack his face.
He talking about, is that y'all playing music? Ain't no music playing, bro. Like, what's?
P, can you hear, bro?
He say, is that y'all playing music?
Make sure you look at the live feed and not
Smack
like.
his face. That's all I'm saying. Smack his face.
I'm trying to figure out, cause let me see, dog. I'm trying to see what he hearing, cause we ain't playing no music, bro. I don't know. Let me.
it sounds of the furnace.
No, we good.
All right, we good. I can hear me. No, I don't know. It's your phone. I guess the Android.
Yo, but get back. Hey, get back.
Look at
You
your
are,
iPhone.
like, those kids
Biggie playing.
are my responsibility, right? Yeah, I represent this program. You know, I get it. It's a multi-million-dollar brand, and part of my job is to represent that as best as I can.
Yeah.
You know, it's a fine line though when you want to ask a grown man coming from where he came from, growing up the way he did.
Right.
You're right.
Chicago.
You talk about culture, and we talk about being inclusive and like being your original self and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Then all the blame can't go to Juwan Howard,
Yeah.
right? Because maybe that man didn't want to talk at that moment, right?
Right.
That's why he walked by.
Yeah.
Who are
I
you
mean,
to
just got
stop
his
him?
butt whooped.
Yeah.
You know?
Just got their butts whooped.
Yeah, they just got their butts
By
whooped.
12.
You did what you needed to do. Well, like, yeah, Wisconsin whooped they got it. You know,
Yeah.
take your victory and move on, right?
Right.
It's, who are you to stop this man and demand some conversation right there? You know what I mean? That's my thing about it, right? I don't have to talk to nobody post game,
Right.
You know, well, you know, at that level, you know, there's some media things like that. They need to speak, you know, after the game. But outside of that, I don't need to say shit to that other coach. You know, I
Right.
don't need to, you know, shake his hand. You know, and you should, and it's like, yeah, like your principal said, that amount, that level of white privilege that almost like hey,
You gonna talk to me,
you
boy?
gonna talk to me,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
that's one of the things that pisses me off more than anything. Right?
Exactly.
You know?
No, that's for sure.
I don't have to talk to you.
And see, I ain't never been on that side, you know, as far as being a coach. But at the end of the day, like, I know that we're responsible for these kids. I know we're responsible for the program in which is paying our paychecks. But at the end of the day, or at the beginning of the day, nigga, we fucking human beings, men, nigga.
He said Biggie playing.
What is he? I don't know what you're talking about, dog. Like, I see that, but I don't. Ain't no music playing. P, I don't know what's going on.
He said Biggie playing.
Oh, you hear something? I don't hear nothing. Dog.
Yeah, I don't know what you doing, bro.
That's the Android. But like, we grown men first, dog. So I can't.
Absolutely.
Of course, like you in the public setting, you work for a school. So yeah, there's going to be some penalty for that. Obviously, I know I ain't just gonna be able to go home and act like shit sweet. So you gonna get penalized for that.
Yeah.
But all the extra commentary though, especially from white people though, and look, I don't want to make this a racial thing, but I'm gonna do it. All these white people saying like what he should have did. First of all, you're not gonna ever tell me what a grown man should have did. If you ain't never been in a position of that kind of anger, when you're talking about sports, there's a lot of adrenaline in sports. He not really that old. He not this far removed from how that adrenaline rush is when you playing a sport. And if I don't feel like fucking with you right now, people who are accustomed to sports know that if I fuck with you, I am poking the bear. You know what you're doing. So you just get what you got.
All right, these coaches, if you've been on the sidelines, they say a lot of stuff to each other. Mm-hmm. They be out of pocket with each other, but you don't put your hands on them.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's where okay, as someone kind of in that same position as Juwan Howard will be responsible for kids,
Right.
I understand that there's a way I'm supposed to act. There are things I'm supposed to do and examples I'm supposed to show.
But sometimes
But
you
at the
just
same
react.
time, like I tell everybody, don't let this bow tie fool you.
Right.
I'm going home in one piece, and you're not putting your hands on me. So
Facts.
I see both sides of it. Yes, he was wrong for the initially putting his hands on him. Juwan Howard was wrong for how he reacted. Same time, because he's supposed to be an example. Same time, grown man stuff.
Yeah.
You don't put your hands
Right. So you don't know how I'm gonna react.
Don't touch me.
Yeah, you put yourself in certain
Especially
positions.
Whatever he said to his kid,
Yeah, something
one
happened.
of his players,
And I wonder why they not focusing on that.
and whatever that guy said deserved 5 fingers to the face.
You know, right.
Five fingers
Howard
down.
was on
Howard
there,
said,
right?
he said that shit was fucked up what you did
Uh,
to the other head coach.
Yeah.
He said, don't speak to me. That's fucked up what you did. And he kept walking.
yeah.
They took the timeout in the last few minutes and they had already won the game.
Right. Yeah.
So now you rubbing salt in the wound.
So-
you
Yeah.
already getting beat. Now you gonna take a timeout.
So the whole thing, right? You know, Michigan, they losing about what, 12, 14, whatever it was.
Right.
All right, Juwan Howard decided to press. Right. All right, you gonna press? Okay. Wisconsin's coach is saying, I call a timeout because I want to, talk my guys how to get through the press and blah 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 blah. Blah. Okay, whatever. I can even maybe buy that.
Yeah. That's believable.
Still, my problem is this: you don't. You are not entitled to shit from me,
Yeah.
right? No explanation, no handshake, no nothing, right? Don't stop me like you are, right?
Exactly.
And then when you bring my kids into it, yeah,
Now it's on.
you know what? Yeah, I'm wrong for putting my hands on you,
But I'm putting my
willing
hands
to
on
take
you.
those consequences because these are my fucking kids,
Exactly.
right?
Facts.
So close your fucking
Now,
mouth,
what did
all
that
right?
assistant coach say?
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
the question.
Yeah, so close your fucking
And
mouth.
and
Don't
nobody-
talk shit.
Nobody says
Nobody said nothing about
that
that.
part.
Yeah.
Hey, I was told, what the best piece of advice I was told when I was in the military, right? The best piece of advice I ever was told that I received in the military, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
For sure. That's all
Right.
day. That's all day
You
long.
do some dumb shit, you're gonna have some dumb shit happen back to you,
Yeah.
right? Just expect that shit. It's just gonna happen.
Stupid does.
Stupid is,
sure.
stupid does, right?
You put yourself in that position and then try to cry victim. Come on,
Come on now.
It's not
and,
gonna be
and,
that.
and white men want to be the victim so bad. Victim so bad.
All he had to do is
So
shake
bad.
his hand.
No,
What the fuck his hand?
He shook his hand though.
Come on.
He shook his hand about to move on past, and he stopped him. So
Yeah.
I'm already shaking your hand. I'm walking on by because I don't have anything to say.
Yeah.
And you stopped me.
Yeah.
You put your hands on me to stop me after I shook your hand.
Hey, look, I'm mad, nigga.
Now, all rules.
I'm mad, nigga. You know what it is?
He was like, that's fucked up what you did. And kept walking.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, what you say? Like, hold on, don't fucking touch me.
Right.
It's
So
on.
Juwan Howard was doing what he was supposed to do, and all of a sudden he made a grown man decision, and a grown man came.
I mean, grown man decision. Sometimes, like, you gonna do the wrong thing and you gotta take the consequences.
Yeah.
And that's what he did.
And
I ain't mad at him for it.
I ain't mad at that shit at all,
And
dog.
he's still getting paid.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that shit at all.
Nope.
He did what he was supposed to do. I don't think all the extra commentary, I think it's just extra shit. People always trying to put the
They
one
got
on it.
something to talk about.
Yeah,
right?
they trying to put the one on it. It ain't shit. I do feel like, though, that the Big Ten or the NCAA, I can't remember one of the two, might be the conference. I think they really could only suspend them for 2 games and shit. So that means this was the school's idea and shit. And I know how that shit work. It's the schools getting they palms greased and shit, and you can't let these motherfucking you can't let these
At the
alumni
same
be
time,
mad.
though, but at the same time, Bo Schembechler knew about one of his team doctors, molesting motherfuckers and didn't do shit about it. But his statue and all that shit still staying out there and
Like
the whole
potato,
name after him.
potato and shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Potato too though.
no,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so.
Juwan Howard slapped somebody, so.
Yeah. One for the whole team, bitch. One for the whole team, bitch. Oh, so look, we talking about sports and shit. I hadn't even mentioned this before, but let's go to the NFL real quick. I know this probably gonna be a situation that Bo probably hate everything about it and shit, but I just gotta say this though. I don't necessarily, in 2 instances, I don't necessarily know if I want the consolation prize, dog. I don't know if I want that job for the Houston Texans and shit, and I don't know if I want Brian Flores new running backs coach or some
The
shit.
NFL is fucking
So
smart.
like he stayed in the NFL. They ain't blackball him, but they gave him a whole ass position though.
The NFL is smart. And I'm not even talking about Brian Flores. I'm talking about Lovie Smith. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Lovie
Okay,
Smith.
so
That's a
yeah.
consolation prize,
So
bro.
y'all mad about no black head coaches. He's the safe choice, right? He's been a head coach in the NFL before. He's been a head coach at the collegiate level, blah, 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 this and that. We know what to expect from him. He knows how the game goes, all this type of shit, right? That's like Hillary Clinton pandering to y'all in 2016.
Facts.
That's what that is, right?
Equivalent.
You know what I mean? That's exactly what that is. Now, like, if they really wanted to be serious about a head coaching search, like, would I think they would have hired Lovie Smith if all this, Brian Flores and shit like that haven't come out? No, I don't think so. I think they would have hired an old boy that coached high school football for 2 years. But yeah, I understand he was the NFL quarterback and all that shit. Like, I get that. But an NFL head coach, it's not only about X's and O's and stuff like that. You are the CEO of the team, really, right? You got a general manager and all that shit. Yes, man. You got to put your X's in their places. There's a lot more that goes into that than just X's and O's.
Facts.
You know?
Probably more so.
Exactly, right? So, I mean, yeah, I get it. Lovie Smith, I'm happy for him. Yeah. Black head coach has been to the Super Bowl, I guess.
It's a consolation prize, though.
But yeah, it's
really
not.
Is.
I don't want to say he's not deserving of it, right? Because I don't ever want to say that of another coach. You know what I mean? Because who am I to say that shit? But just the way, even myself, you know, like I went on countless, you know, Division I interviews and things like that, and it was never about football. It was about, oh, we know this guy, or he's worked with that guy, or this guy, blah, blah, blah. It was never about the coaching.
No, you know that because if it wasn't that, it wouldn't be so many losing teams. There's a bunch of losing teams with friends on the staff. Motherfuckers I know, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's how teams get fucked up. And
at every level.
At every level.
But if I am Goodell, I went straight to the Houston owner and said, look, you messed this up.
Yeah. Oh,
You
absolutely.
better hire a black coach.
Yeah. You have to at this point, yeah.
Because you've hired somebody after 1 year, after giving him a jacked up team. You gave him the worst situation possible. He got 4 wins out of it, and you still fired him. Yeah, you messed up. You started this, so you better hire a black coach.
Yeah.
That's whatever. Hey,
and I hope he make the best of this motherfucking opportunity. Yeah, I hope so.
I mean, he will.
And it's a safe choice though, like you said. Though. It's Lovie Smith though. Like it ain't Craig Johnson and shit. You know what I'm saying? It ain't Eric Bieniemy who I think needs a fucking job.
So here's my question about that, right? What are they saying about Eric Bieniemy, right?
To not let him get up there
at a high level for too long, to not let him take up. And what's being said about Eric Bieniemy?
Somebody doesn't interview well.
What part of that has nothing to do with the field.
What?
Right.
That has nothing to do with what we doing on the field.
Results.
The nigga's proven.
It's a results-based business.
For sure. And trust me, I'm not saying like just give a nigga a chance because he a nigga and shit.
You know what?
No, I'm saying if he's
qualified
on the field, he's on the field.
But here's my level. If your bar is going to be, you look at the New York Giants a few years ago, Joe Judge. Who the fuck is Joe Judge, right? If your bar is going to be Matt Rule from Carolina, who never had NFL experience, who did decently at Baylor and whatnot, right? If that's going to be your bar, okay, then make that bar consistent.
Exactly.
Don't raise it when you feel like the need to, and lower it when you feel the need to.
Right.
Keep the bar consistent, and that's my problem with the whole NFL head coaching thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, it raises and lowers, depending on what they want to see, their desires and whatnot. Right?
Weird. At first it said you couldn't have black quarterbacks, now you can have black coaches.
Oh, for real.
Not black head coaches.
Head coaches, yeah.
Yeah, black head coaches, yeah.
These coordinators are kicking butt.
And then I look at the NBA and I'm just like, damn, it's a lot of black coaches. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of black people. Owners, there's a lot of black people in front offices.
So what do you guys think about that then, right? Because I look at the NFL, I look at the NBA. In the NBA, you look at your superstars, and you got guys like LeBron James, who's very vocal, who's very outspoken and whatnot about what he wants to see happen, not only on his team but in the league. Right? Does the NFL have that? And can anybody do that in the NFL right now?
Guaranteed contracts. When you don't have guaranteed contracts, a lot of that power goes away.
That's what it is.
That is it.
That's it right there.
Whoever negotiated those last 2 CBAs,
they knew what they was doing
by not making these contracts guaranteed. These guys. I mean, what's your shelf life as an NFL player? 2 years?
Shit, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they're guaranteed on a case-by-case basis, right? But not like, Oh, absolutely.
Guaranteed contract.
Right.
But NBA guaranteed contract. Oh, you got to give me my money. So I'm gonna say what I got.
So I'm gonna say, that's
my
real.
money's coming regardless.
That's real.
Whether I play or not, whether you put me on the bench or not. John Wall been sitting around for a year, and they still got to pay him. He can say whatever he wants.
And they are more than willing to be flexible. Look at Kyrie.
No, I can't believe
I'm not getting fucking vaccinated. Fuck y'all.
I'm surprised.
We're gonna find a way for Kyrie to play and benefit this team. We're gonna find a way for him to.
And they found a way.
They found a way.
They found a way.
Right.
I'm really surprised though that shit working like that. Honestly,
Why,
But-
why,
Generational talent.
why would you be surprised at that, though?
I'm surprised they allowing it to happen.
Because in the NBA,
Well, the NBA, yeah.
They hold
NFL ain't let that shit out there.
It's like, no, you're supposed to be playing, so whatever
Yeah.
he asking for, you give it to him.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's still the bottom line is selling tickets. So,
Selling tickets.
yeah.
Get that money.
And the NFL, like, they don't understand that shit.
What up, though, Raha?
I just can't really believe, I don't know, I just can't believe that it's that little head coach talent that's black. Like, I just
And it's
can't
not.
believe
It's
it.
not.
I can't believe that.
It's not.
It's unacceptable to even
Think
think
about
that.
all these black coaches that have been fired from my man for the Lions,
Caldwell.
Caldwell, to Flores, all these guys had winning records and they still fired.
Yeah.
That doesn't make
So you gotta,
You go back to Ray Rose of the Green Bay Packers, 8-8. His first season, 8-8, right? Gone.
right. Yeah.
You
Matt
do
Patricia
1 year,
lasted
what's it?
4 years and didn't get as many wins as Caldwell got his last season.
Right.
I like Caldwell, though.
I did too.
That's why
I didn't
I
have
say
any problems with
the
it.
Lions is the curse of Caldwell because until you do right, you're gonna keep losing.
I mean, what do y'all think it
All my
is, though?
life I had to fight.
I mean, what do you think it is though? Like, is the bar set too high for black head coaches? Like, or they just don't want you in that motherfucker?
They're impatient with black people.
But like, why?
The billionaire owners don't trust their billionaire assets with black folks.
Damn, that's the bottom line, you know.
With black people.
Damn, how do we change that though? Like, is that even foreseeable? Like in real life, that the cosmetic makeup of the ownership of the NFL will actually change? Is that even a realistic idea?
You gotta have the cash behind it to become part of it.
That's the only way.
But it ain't even that.
And that's,
We don't have enough.
But that's the only way.
liquid and hard.
That's the only way you're going to even be in the conversation.
Liquid
The only
and
way.
hard.
Right, and that's still a conversation because even then, when you come with the money, it's still a fucking council that's got to allow you to be an owner. So it's like,
Because they
What the
still looking
fuck?
at you because you black.
so
Dude.
are we able to ever change that dynamic then?
It's not going to be any time foreseeable.
Right, it's like 'cause you come with all the bread, but they can still be like, no, it's
Look at the
what
football.
Kanye says, it's just a nigga in the coop.
Look, locally, right? Detroit Lions, Ford family. This is their, obviously, this. They don't need to own the Lions, right? This
No.
is their toy. This is their thing. This is what they do, right?
Right.
They know that they're the laughing stock of the league. They know that they see this shit. They know people laugh. I don't know this good shit. Blah 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 blah. But balance sheet, cash flow, right? Positive. I don't give a fuck what y'all think, bro.
Exactly.
Because I'm gonna raise these prices anyway, and guess what? Y'all still gonna come out and watch the Lions, right? Y'all still gonna listen to all this shit on talk radio.
All this 97.1, nigga, fuck y'all.
Y'all still gonna watch the games and shit. Y'all still gonna buy all the gear, right?
Facts.
Y'all still gonna cheer for Matthew Stafford and whatever the fuck it is, man. Like all that shit still gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
So until anything starts to affect their bottom line, ain't no change is gonna happen. Because
Right.
why?
Yeah.
That's capitalism.
Right, you said, because why?
It's
That's the bottom line, because why? Yeah, so if that doesn't ever change, then I don't see the head coaching situation changing. I don't know. I really don't know what to do with that.
It just has to be a situation to where the players, like a lot of black players, are gonna have to take a stand, right? And just almost demand that the players get more power.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna have to happen, really, right? And that's where you come to a sticky situation, right? Because I don't want to mess up nobody's money and shit. You know, you do what
Right.
you do. You know, you do what you do. I don't know what your situation is, right?
Right, because
So
you
we
might be
gotta
standing
ask you
up, but you
to
might be
take-
fucking dog the whole situation. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, to me, that's just kind of like somebody's just gonna have to take a stand.
Yeah.
You know, and at some point there's gonna have to be a line drawn in the sand, like, hey man, this is it. No
And that's-
more, not further.
That's the real dilemma,
Right.
though, is being accountable for your teammates and shit. And when I say accountable, just meaning that dog might can't afford to do this shit right now. So, and that's the thing. Like, I hate to put it to to TV and shit, but I used to watch the game and shit. I remember the game. And dog had said some racist shit to my man, and dog say, "Nigga, fuck that. We getting ready to boycott." But it was niggas on the team that was like, "Bro, I need this check, dog. You can't do this."
Yeah.
So that dilemma has been in the NFL for years. And it's going to be hard to get past that shit. I want to ask y'all this, though, because of that. Do you think the USFL and shit are changing that at all? Like maybe it'll make these motherfuckers, make these motherfuckers do something?
Not on a large enough
Not
scale.
yet.
No.
NFL's king, man.
It's always good.
I mean, but
Brand
couldn't it like jump in there and break up the monotony? Like, you know what? We gotta.
All right, so when the USFL was out the first time,
Originally.
the original, and was the Panthers? We had here, we won the championship and everything. It was really like fighting the NFL for the variety. And then all of a sudden, something behind the scenes causing you to
Call that shit to dip. Yeah.
All it is now is something to keep your attention while the NFL.
While the off season.
Yeah.
This is the off season football fix.
That's all it is.
Damn. I'm hoping that it'll give it something though. Maybe an honest run.
As long as he hate me playing, we'll be all right.
He hate me, dog. That nigga still playing?
I know.
It was just the one name I
He went to Ohio Northern, though.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know
He went to
that.
Ohio Northern.
Shout out to Ohio Northern, man. The longest fucking road trip ever. That bitch seemed like it was so far up. Especially for a nigga on the bus and shit riding to stand on the sideline. It's a very long. You ever
Had a good nap, Q.
Had a good nap. You ever stood on the sideline for 60 minutes after taking a 3-hour drive and shit, nigga? You don't understand. You niggas will never feel my pain.
Me and Q was sleep.
Hey, look, that's before I knew I had sleep apnea. I used to go to sleep anywhere and shit. Nah, nigga died trying to go to sleep anywhere.
Hey, so I'm gonna ask y'all this though, right?
Yeah.
So the house next door,
Okay.
it's nice, got a nice yard, nice front yard, backyard.
Okay.
I like it. I'm thinking about taking that bitch. I just might move in there.
You should.
Oh, ain't nobody over there?
I mean, somebody over there, but like, fuck them, right?
Dog, you stupid as hell.
I mean, that's
Oh, I see where we going with this.
what I'm saying.
I see where we going with this.
Oh, so
You want
I'm
it.
saying, you know, they kind of encroaching on, like, you know, my individuality.
And you
like,
dare-
who I want to be.
And you dare a nigga to intervene.
I dare somebody to say something about
I
it.
see where we going with this.
like Putin.
I see where we going with this.
Like you Putin over here.
Let's talk about that shit there, dog. Again, in case you've been under a rock and shit, it's some shit going on over in the Ukraine. Putin just said, fuck y'all, I'm taking this, and I dare anybody to say something about it. So, like, I'm battling this because I know this is a conversation that we're having off camera. I'm battling some of the things I'm going to say, but now I'm high, so it's too late. And I'm going to probably say all the things I wanted to say. So, I apologize ahead of time.
You already about to
Disclaimer, right?
Yeah, we're probably going to get banned from this, but anyway, this is the thing, dog. From what I understand, and I don't want to sound unpatriotic or nothing because this don't really have nothing to do with us. But just from the outside looking in, I mean, just breaking it down to the bare minimum and shit. Dogs say, I don't want to pay y'all no more for this shit that's coming into our backyard, so I'm just gonna take it. All right, so let's just break it down to the bare minimum, right? It's war, it's politics. I don't really have a conversation for either of those because it's always gonna be like just a little weird back and forth kind of thing. I will say this though. Let him go ahead and do that shit, dog. If that's what he's doing, I don't think that it has anything to do with us. I don't want to sound unpatriotic or not empathetic because I do empathize with the people of the Ukraine. But at the end of the day, dog, we got our own motherfucking battles to fight right here in our own backyard. I don't want to be concerned. Like, I don't want to consume myself with somebody else's fight, dog. And I know that might not be the right thing to say. But that's where I'm at with it right now and shit. And I'm hopeful that the U.S. understand that this ain't our fight, bro. Like, I know we're supposed to be like this superpower and shit, which is, you know, that's up to debate. But we ain't got to be in everybody's business, dog. If dog want to go take that shit, they probably got their own beef. You let them fight that shit out, dog, until that shit really affect us. That's all I'm saying about that shit.
I mean, the only thing that's affected right now is like gas prices.
Man, there's always some bullshit affecting gas prices.
That's the only thing.
We got gas buried in the backyard. We don't need that shit. All you motherfuckers' cars is electric. We don't even fucking need that shit, dog.
These high in Cali.
Right. That's like all the
reserves that we have.
no, all that shit we got. That's like all the redneck motherfuckers in the Rust Belt and shit swearing that the coal mines is coming back. Bitch, we don't use coal no more. Don't let niggas give you the okie doke. No, it's the okie doke. Trump sold all you niggas in the Rust Belt and shit thinking that coal mines was coming back. Nigga, we use the motherfucking clean energy. We don't use coal no more, niggas. It's not coming back. Don't go for the okie doke with the $4 gallon of gas. You got a fucking EV truck. What you need the gas for?
That Lightning and that Chevy all electric.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're not dealing with that Prius looking stuff.
Even
Exactly.
your new cars is all electric. So
So don't trip over the petroleum, nigga. We ain't even
I
use it.
was watching this shit the other day. This was a Wednesday or Thursday, whatever it was. CNN. You know, I watch CNN, sometimes NPR, sometimes Fox News, because I want to get a nice, eclectic mix of what's going on, what narrative is trying to be pushed at that moment, right?
That's exactly what it is.
So I'm watching CNN and the what do they call this shit? The bottom line or
The
whatever
ticker.
it is. Yeah, the ticker, whatever the fuck it is. It says something like, Russia pushing propaganda, blah 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 blah, this and that. So I'm like, oh, the pot calling the kettle black is right?
Exactly.
Like, and like, yes, this shit may be true, but to me, the thing that is so just like, I guess, the thing that kind of like really puts me off about it, man, is just how stupid the media, the U.S. government thinks like the average person is, right?
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is what Russia is doing, the United States has done since the Civil fucking War.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
all the Bushes.
I mean, just stop and say time out for a minute and ask yourself, what the fuck is going on, right?
Right.
And so, like we talked about earlier, the Cuban Missile Crisis, where the United States was up in arms when the Soviet Union was pushing into Cuba.
Right.
Like, whoa, you right on our doorstep.
Exactly.
And now NATO, has been, NATO has pushed further and further into Eastern Europe. So far, when they were in talks with Ukraine into joining NATO, and Russia's like, this is literally on our doorstep, dude.
Right.
This shit is not cool, right?
Exactly.
And they react and actually do some shit about it, unlike the United States did, all those years ago and shit.
Right.
And now it's like, oh, they're these devils, they're these, whatever. And maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I'm not in a position to judge that. And quite frankly, I really don't care because it's not my issue.
Right, it's not my issue.
I don't want people to die and all the other shit. Like, I really don't, right? But black people been going through it forever, all over this planet, bro. You look at Sierra Leone, you look at Rwanda, you look at Somalia, you look at Ethiopia. You even look at the Arab summer when all these governments got overturned and whatnot, right? And that shit that shit wasn't coincidence that all these countries, all of a sudden, it just boom one after another. Like, no, there's an influence there. Like, what's really going on, right? And then when you have leaders like Gaddafi, Gaddafi has some questionable issues, right? What leader doesn't? But when they start talking about, oh, we're going to isolate ourselves from the West and do our own thing, that's when it becomes a problem, right? We're willing to put up with all this other shit until you're talking about cutting us off from resources and what we do, right? So you look at this whole Ukraine issue and blah, blah, blah. What? Okay. So?
Hey, look, that's kind of...
Yeah.
Next.
So let me go ahead and say this and shit, right? So that's kind of like what America does, though, right? Whenever somebody feel like they can do something on their own and shit, they bust that motherfucker down. This is what America does. Now again, I'm not unpatriotic and shit, and I do love where I'm from. I wouldn't want to be nowhere else, but that doesn't mean that you're exempt from me criticizing what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be real about that shit.
That makes you an American, right? That's the whole essence of being an American, right?
Right.
To be able to talk shit about wherever the fuck you want to, and not have to worry about the government doing shit back to you about it. That's the whole essence of being an American.
Now, what you think this shit is gonna do for us politically? Because I know that's the only reason that we would have any kind of response.
Until I get that check, it ain't gonna do shit for us. What? I
know that's the only reason we gonna even respond.
Reparations ain't gonna do shit for us. I saw some shit.
Now, when
today
is that gonna be a serious
Biden,
conversation?
I saw some shit today that Biden is saying millions of billions, wherever the fuck it was, to Ukraine and all this good shit. Okay? For what, nigga?
Right.
For what? What do they have to do with building this fucking country?
So is it time for a serious reparations conversation?
It's been time.
I mean, I know it's been time, but do you think it's a time where it might actually be considered seriously?
I don't think it's ever going to ever happen.
Ever?
Seriously, no.
Ever?
They give
Never.
reparations to Japanese Americans, Jewish Americans, all that kind of
That
stuff.
shit
They
don't
get
matter.
anything
We'll
else.
never get it.
No, that's
You won't see it.
Because
no optimism.
Because you know what? I can't speak on Asian. I'm not Asian American. I don't know, you know, but I understand Black Americans from my perspective, right? From my environment, from what I've been around.
Yeah.
We angry.
We are.
You know, we not angry just to be angry. We angry
got
for
shit to be angry
legitimate
about.
reasons. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
for sure.
So if I'm an occupier, why am I going to give the people that are angry at me resources?
Right. Yeah.
That don't even make sense. So why would I even do that?
Yeah, because that's been their
Well, maybe
motivation
force
this whole
it
time.
just to keep them distracted, keep them occupied with other shit amongst themselves or whatever the fuck it is, and I can go do some shit over here,
Yeah.
right? Because they worried about this piddly shit over here.
Yeah.
You know.
So, and I'm kind of combining everything when I say this because a whole lot of thoughts just went through my head and shit. That's what happens when you get high. But I'm just thinking about like black people's progress up to this point. So we looking at sports, we looking at in the business world, we looking at politically and shit. I know a lot of it is kind of smoke and mirrors because like you got some people who are in prominent spaces and shit, and obviously others that aren't. But like we kind of had this back in the day, like even before slavery, during slavery, there were some prominent black people. And I know we don't discuss this often and shit, but while niggas was getting fucked up, it was some black people doing pretty well and shit, all at the same time. So I say all that to say this: we get to this point where it's kind of the same thing. Have we actually progressed at all? Like, did we actually progress? Like, so we got some shit, but I don't think we've ever progressed in power.
Yeah, you progress enough to keep you hungry but capitulant. You know what I mean? I want more, but at the same time, I see what was and what is now, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, fact, yeah, there has been progress. I guess you could call it that, right?
I mean, niggas ain't getting hanged and shit, but yeah.
But yeah, you know, like
Well, yeah.
like you look at nowadays, right?
Not
Like,
lynch, but shot.
like
Yeah,
literally,
shot down.
Knee on the neck, it's still lynching.
Still
Yeah.
lynching. Facts. That's
like
true.
literally today or yesterday, whatever the fuck it was. So Biden's gonna, his appointee to the Supreme Court is a black woman, right?
Okay, okay, I saw that.
So,
I was wondering who he was gonna
Like,
choose.
that's dope. That's cool. You know, I get that. But why has it got to a point where he has to really come out and, hey, I have to appoint a black woman to this post and shit, right? You know, and like I understand why, and I get all that, you know, and so I'm asking this question rhetorically, but man, I don't see any large level change or any of that stuff like happening anytime soon.
Damn. That's. I mean, that's the reality of it, though, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So with that mindset, though, and just even thinking about that, how do we as black people? Because I'm curious about this for real. How do we keep moving forward, or at least attempting to move forward? Like, this shit's got to be pretty depressing. You know what I'm saying? Like, after a while, you just like, fuck, nigga. Goddamn.
it's like a lot of black leaders in Africa, you know, where the West paints them out to be crooked. You know, like I'm sure some of them do crooked things or whatever the case is. But,
I'm sure
right?
people with power always
know,
do.
But it's always what happens on the surface, like, you know, what was being reported. You know, what happened behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
You know, what were some of the ramifications that prompted the situation to happen, right?
Right.
How much was the United States or Canada or the UK or whoever meddling into their affairs? You know what I
Right.
mean? That type of shit, right? So, I mean, until... That's why when you see like people like Gaddafi, you know, when they get assassinated, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, we were talking about Killmonger earlier.
Right.
Where his whole message gets diluted
Killmonger.
because he killed his girlfriend and he beat up an old woman or choked an old woman or whatever, right? But it really, if you look at that movie and you think about his message was retribution and to get back what, you know, we've lost, right? So
Which is
black
honorable.
nationalism is what it is, right? You know, and I don't think that's a bad thing, but it was painted to be like a bad thing because all these bad things that he did ancillary to that, right? So when people look at that as a whole, they're like, oh, no, we can't do
He's
that.
just a
It's
bad, he's just a
Yeah,
bad
it's
person.
bad, yeah.
Yeah.
The optics were bad.
Exactly.
It
For
wasn't so
sure.
much that the end result was bad, it's just
Right.
the way it looked
Exactly.
on the way in, going through it.
Yeah. Or even the intent, for that matter.
So like right now, you've got Biden. Okay, I'm gonna give Biden this much. he's at least done a good enough job bringing all these other countries together to be on the same page. That's something a lot of people have not been able to do, get these other countries, especially after Trump, get all these other countries to no longer be mad at the United States and say, all right, we're going to follow your lead. He's at least done that, but we got to remember, Ukraine's not a part of NATO.
Exactly.
You got a dictator going against another dictator.
That's it. That's their thing.
Not quite a battle that we need to be a part of.
Exactly.
You got two dictators going after each other.
Exactly.
And you know what? And that's key right there, right? And I'm glad you said that because I don't think that's a part of the whole situation that's being looked at, right? So from the Russian point of view, right? There's two regions in the Ukraine that are predominantly communist, right? And they want to rejoin, repatriate, whatever you want to call it, to Russia. And Russia is claiming that these people are being persecuted and, genocide is happening and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. And all that in the West media is being discredited immediately. Like, no, that's not true. That's not happening. Like, they go far enough to recognize that, like, yeah, something's going on, but what he's saying ain't really happening, right?
It's something going on, but that ain't it.
Yeah, but that ain't it.
That ain't it.
The two regions of the Ukraine that quote unquote call themselves Russian and not necessarily Ukrainian. Okay, that's fine, but you're still inside of Ukraine borders. Now, if you want to go to Russia, walk on across the border and go over there. That doesn't mean Putin's got a right to come in and just take that
Absolutely
area.
not.
Okay, so
And I'm not saying
you
that.
don't want to be there.
Get the fuck out, all right? Take
And
your ass
I'm
out.
not saying that. What I'm saying is
But now you bombing people.
Putin is using that excuse to say that, like, they're putting down their ability to free to congregate or to protest or whatever the fuck it is or whatever, blah blah blah. Even though he's doing the same shit in his country, right?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. That's the excuse. I'm not defending Putin.
That's like
they're the same level as the United States.
That's like North Korea.
Different
That's like
regions,
North
right?
Dakota saying, I think we should be a part of Canada.
Yeah.
Or Maine saying, well, we should be a part of Canada. No.
Right.
You're not seceding from the Union. That's
That's
not
it.
going to happen. Same thing over in Ukraine. Those two areas,
Damn.
do not, Crimea and
That's a good analogy.
do not just leave.
That's a good analogy.
They already annexed
I got
Crimea,
you.
though.
That's a good analogy. I feel you.
Yeah.
Deuces, go and walk across the border. You can go live over there.
But see, but this is
Exactly.
here's the thing that I'm so upset about, right? Because you look at all, NPR and CNN and MSNBC and all these different news outlets and whatnot, and they show these pictures of the Ukraine being bombed and blown up and shit like that, right? And I saw this post from, I'm very sympathetic to the Muslim religion and whatnot, right? So I saw this post from a Muslim influencer I follow, and it was a Associated Press post from back like in May of 2021, where it was the picture, the exact same picture of Palestine being bombed by Israel and shit, but the tag, the headline was just changed, to Ukraine and blah blah all this other shit. You know what I mean? So I asked myself the question, like, all these other countries, that you've been conditioned to think that are evil or whatever, blah blah blah, have been suffering and been persecuted for so long, right? So people always say, I don't have anything against the people, it's their government, right? So these people in these states like the Palestine or in Palestine or Somalia, South Sudan, or whatever it is, they've been persecuted for so long, and it's just like, where was the outcry for them? Where was the sympathy for them?
Right.
Where was all the help for them?
Right.
All of a sudden now, I see somebody that's getting blown up that looks like me, white, maybe blonde hair, blue eye, I don't know, even though they're Russian or Ukrainian or whatever you want to call them. Now it's a problem.
Yeah.
If it's somebody that's got a little darker skin than me or more melanated than I am, and in the global south, as they call it,
Like,
it's an issue.
in that essence, then can we and this is a weird spin on it, something I just thought about when you said that. Can we consider ourselves privileged and shit in that aspect? Because when we was having an issue over here, motherfuckers was fucking with us everywhere.
Absolutely. I think we could
They
consider
was like, oh shit, what they doing over there? You know what I'm saying? Like, help them black people. You know what I'm saying? Right. Help them niggas.
And then I'm glad. So this brings up the whole argument about, I don't know if you guys have heard about the foundational Black American movement, right? So foundational Black Americans,
I'm like that.
Black folks that have been here for a while, ancestors were slaves and things like that, right? That do reparations or whatnot.
Okay.
And then you have Black Americans that have immigrated here from other countries
Gotcha.
that may take away from that, right? They don't understand
That struggle.
the traditional Black American, experience in America.
Right. 'Cause
Right.
theirs
They
is
think about
different.
where they came from, not necessarily what Black Americans have went through,
But what they went through.
Right. What they
Yeah.
went through. Right. So then they downplay it like, no, it's not that bad, and blah blah blah. And those are the people that they typically trumpet on all these shows and
Gotcha.
whatnot and stuff like that, right?
Because, in comparison to where they came from, it probably ain't bad.
And this is why white America, capitalism is so brilliant, because now what they've done is someone that looks exactly like me, I've got all this animosity and hatred towards him, even though he ain't did shit to me.
Right.
You've done everything, to cause all this animosity and hatred towards me, but I'm pissed at him and not you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
And so,
Facts.
That okey doke, right?
Man.
Yeah.
Distractions.
Damn, that shit crazy. This shit pretty deep though, for real.
Hey, Willie Lynch is real.
Yeah, for sure. Whether you believe it was an actual letter or not, that the concept is definitely real. That shit is still up for debate, I guess.
my cigar that went out.
No, we're rapping and shit, but that's real. That's real shit though.
For real, man.
No, that's real shit though, and because of that, dog, and this is why, and I know me and Angry Principal always butt heads on this, but because of that is why I don't have any faith in the political system, dog. I know that in a capitalist society, everything is ran off of the dollar bill, bro. So like, I always felt like I can vote the best people in there. I really can, dog. But essentially, the system is operating the way it was built to do, and even if you go in there with the best intentions, because of the system, you can only work in the confines of the system. It's just like it's like a computer program. You can't go outside the ones and zeros. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm just gonna grease. We need to grease the palms of the people that need to do what we need them to do. Dog. That's all we can do.
I think you're right. And the other thing I think about that, so when we do get candidates or politicians, whoever, who we can believe in, right? So I don't know if y'all familiar with dude Chambers from Louisiana running for Senate, U.S. Senate in Louisiana. Gary Chambers.
Okay.
If you're not, check him out, Instagram, all
check
that
him
good
out.
stuff. Like, for real, it's like his first commercial, announcing his candidacy, he was sitting in a chair like a motherfucking king, smoking a blunt and shit, right?
Right.
He's talking about like, hey, yeah,
You like that shit?
you know what I mean? But his whole message is like, we got all these white folks profiting off of, legal weed nowadays, and we still in Louisiana and Mississippi and states like that, a lot of southern states.
Yeah,
you got black folks that are still suffering from choices they made when weed wasn't legal and all this other good stuff, right?
Exactly.
But now that people are, like, you need to reevaluate what what your choices are,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And
Okay, hold on.
go ahead.
So I understand the platform, I understand the message, but the optics of you smoking some weed on TV to get yourself elected, that doesn't conform with what we normally, quote unquote, think is the right way to do things. So that's where, yeah, you got the right message, but the way you brand it is not quite the way I would go. Now, because the people that you need to vote for you are going to be turned off by that. He'll get the black vote, but he's not going to get the majority of those people that vote him in are not going to be black. They're not going to be the same color as him. So it's all about that branding.
I totally understand that too, right?
Totally
But that's a
But
popularity vote.
here's
That's
my
popularity vote.
But here's my
I
question.
love the message. The message is
Oh,
right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
The message is right, is 100%
It's rugged.
on point.
Right.
But the visual, most of these people are going to go with the visual and not so much the message.
Most people are, and you're right. And I think that's just like one of those short-term things we're just going to have to take, right? Because if we continue to play their game and continue to do the things they want us to do things, like, it's never going to change ever, right? Until we start to try to disrupt things.
Right.
And I think that's what
I'm not trying to get.
Right. I'm
Your
not
grandmother
saying
is the one I need to vote for.
you're absolutely
Your
right.
grandmother
I get
is
that.
not going to vote for me smoking one on TV.
I get that. What I'm saying is,
Message.
I don't know though.
Wait, hold up.
Our grandma's
Wait, hold up.
35 now.
He
though.
may
I don't
not.
know.
Wait.
Grandma 35 now. I don't know.
This is what I want to stop. This is dangerous, right? I want to stop this because I don't want us to think that he doesn't have any chance, because that's when black people revert back to what they always do, right?
Democrats.
So I'm going to stop this, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, though, right? At some point, that's going to have to change, right? And that means disruptors are going to have to come along. And yeah, grandma might not like it, uncle may not like it. So the fuck what? They going to have to get over this shit or move the fuck on. Times change, right? Things for us to change. That's what's going to have to change. The way how we operate and do things, right? People is gravitating towards him because he really is a person of the people.
Yeah.
You know.
So
will he win? Probably not. I don't know. But he's drawing so much more attention and so much more like, you know, just like gravitation to things that maybe no black candidates haven't thought about.
so
that I
what-
can do.
all right, so
So what you saying? So basically, what he's saying is,
he puts that commercial. That commercial's already out there.
Okay.
Oh yes, I'll
Did he
yeah.
follow it with something else that's a little different? That's going.
Oh yeah,
to that
yeah,
other
yeah.
group?
He has. Yeah,
Has he
you
done-
follow.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
haven't followed.
Yeah, you follow. Yeah, he's out in the community. Like it wasn't just him smoking weed. It was. No, he's got followers of him out in the community. You know, he's always with people. He's never with corporations or giving a speech. He's always with people, right?
So as you
and
know-
maybe that's his thing. And maybe that's how everybody has agendas, right? You know, we all have agendas. Whatever we're people. But my whole thing, my thing about it is, I want to support the brother because how many other people like him that may be great candidates or somebody that can really affect change be discouraged because, oh, I don't really have that moniker, or I can't, like, the same reason why NAACP chose Rosa Parks instead of everybody else that fucking refused to get up on it. You know what I mean? You got to fit. So
gotta fit.
destroying that mold,
Because
we don't have to fit into their
Every
roles
black
anymore.
man has his chill moment. When he's conquered it all, he's relaxed, he conquered what he needed to conquer, he got his leg crossed, sitting in his chair chilling. Every man has that niche.
Right.
He may be a cigar, a sip of bourbon, it may be a blunt.
Right.
You don't know, but when he crossed his leg and he accomplished everything, that's what that was representing.
I
It
feel
wasn't
you.
representing him being, I smoking weed. No, it representing when I get it all accomplished, I'm gonna sit down and smoke this blunt.
But see, I see both of y'all. I see both of y'all situations and shit.
exactly, yeah.
Now, what I see from both ends
Anchor
is,
principle, like that's his points are very valid, bro.
Definitely.
Like, yeah,
Very valid.
absolutely.
and what
I'm
I
not
see
trying to discredit that at
what I
all.
see from both sides is this, which is different from yours. You saying, all right, so what about these motherfuckers who actually go vote for him?
Yeah.
What Bo's saying is kind of like, fuck them niggas, and let's go ahead and change the whole narrative. But I also see what he's saying is, change don't really come until you like fuck it up for real. And that's a fuck it up for real moment, nigga. When you be like, fuck grandma's vote. That's a fuck it up for real moment, nigga.
Unless you've done something to appeal to both groups.
You're right.
Yeah.
Brandon, you know Brandon.
Yeah.
The message for YouTube or the algorithm, his commercial smoking the weed can go to one group, while the
Totally not go to another. You're
and
right.
totally not go to another group.
Alienate a whole group.
Because you have another message out there for the people you gotta appeal to.
Gotcha.
To get that vote.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure my man is done. I want him to get
Right.
elected because that's a good platform. He's talking exactly the way he's supposed to talk.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure he's got both messages out there.
Absolutely.
And the branding and the people that's helping him market themselves
absolutely.
are doing what they're
that's a
supposed
great
to
point.
do.
Yeah.
Now, Fox or some of those other right wings, they're gonna
spin it.
They're gonna
Right.
latch on to him smoking weed.
Exactly.
But if he's out in the community,
And criminalize
he's
that.
supposed to do, he's pushing the message not only to people that look like us, but look like
Yeah.
the majority. Then yeah, it's gonna work out. It's gonna be a good thing for him. It's just, does he have the branding behind him? And right now, it's all about branding and social media.
It is, unfortunately.
And
Cover
honestly,
all bases.
I don't think he
Cover
will
all
win.
bases.
I feel
I mean, the United States Senate in Louisiana, that's a black man, that's tough.
You gotta
Especially when you
look at
put your moniker out there as where, hey, I'm smoking weed and shit, right?
Right.
And some old white folks, that's all they gonna see. They ain't gonna see nothing else that you've done.
Nothing else.
Like, you're right. Like, even some old black folks, right? All right, like, I get that. But I think we need to go there to kind of break through that barrier. Because if we don't,
Right.
it's always gonna be status quo. Always.
This is where that young vote, the people that talk like you, but they don't necessarily believe in that system, but that young vote, if they go out and vote, regardless of the fact that you believe about the totality of voting and everything in this country, if they get out in force and support this dude, all of a sudden you see them having that conversation with their grandmother, their great-grandmother, their great-great-grandmother who's 65. they can actually
Great grandma, yes. Facts.
have that effect on them.
Yeah.
She's still in the club.
Yeah.
I
She's
just
in the
I
club.
just pray he's doing both things at the same time because it's a great message. It's a great platform to be.
Absolutely.
He just got to do it the right way.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess, and then the question is for me, I guess, at this point, because I done made that whole conversation about not voting or whatever, and I know this nigga go, we always bump heads on that, but like, so a candidate like who you talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's his name again?
Gary Chambers.
Gary Chambers, right? So he's trying to get to the Senate, right?
Yep.
All right, so this is a thing for
United States Senate.
State
United
Senate.
States Senate now. You know.
right.
Yeah.
And
100 club.
right, and I know
It's tight in there.
Yeah, it's only 100 of them.
and I think this is gonna be important. It'll be important for somebody like him and the message that he that from what I've heard that he putting out and like who he representing and the people that he's touching. I think that is important. But I'm trying to figure out what exactly does he have to do to persuade a person like me who still is on the fence, not only voting for him, but voting period. Like,
Right.
can
What
you
makes different?
can you capture me?
What makes
Because at
you
the end of the day, I'm gonna be like he a fucking politician.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
always gonna say that shit.
Yep. What
so
makes you
now,
different?
now
Right.
I'm curious. Like, am I a part of the problem though? Because like, I'm not willing to see. I know you was gonna say that.
I say no.
I'm not willing to see none of that shit. Like dog can touch my heart by firing up a blunt. Nigga, he can touch my heart. He can touch my soul. He can do a promo ad on motherfucking at Zorba's on 6 Mile of Hoover. I fucking love Zorba's because they got the best omelets. And I'm just like, am I gonna still be persuaded to think?
They got a new door yet?
Do both.
They got a new door
You
yet?
still have your opinion.
They got a new door yet?
No, it's the same. Well, they got a house door. Shit.
Oh.
You can still do both. You can still have your problems with the system, but still
And still
have
help.
people that you want in there working for you
Yeah.
in there. You can do both at the same time. You can still have your opinion, but still go through and say, all right, this guy's at least talking halfway what I want to hear. Let me get him in office and see what happens.
It's the machine though, and your principal is the machine, bro.
Absolutely.
Back in the day-
we still got to work in it.
Back in the day when we had slaves and shit, it was niggas in the Senate then. So when is it gonna fucking help us to have a nigga at the table? When? Fuck the table. I'm gonna get my couple dollars, my 10% like my nigga say, and we gonna pay this nigga to do what the fuck we need him to do. Cause like I'm voting it. I want y'all to understand this. Think about the idiocy of that shit. There was niggas in the Senate while slavery is legal. I just want you to think about that shit. So while we try to get the right person we think in the motherfucking office, like, what can they do in the confines of the machine?
Okay, so you talking 1860s as opposed to 2022. It's a different landscape.
It's a different landscape.
Landscape.
Same machine.
Same machine, but different workings. The cogs are different. They've changed the machinery in there, and we have a better chance now, especially with our buying.
You go
to
break down the
control
inner
some of that
workings
stuff.
and shit.
We have a better chance. I'm not saying it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we have a better chance of getting some of the things that we want if we actually work within the system, but at the same time have your opinion and work on the outside. We can do both. We can walk and chew gum at the same time.
I feel you.
We can do both.
Definitely the
And
optimist.
like I said, as long as I got somebody in that court, that judge, that looks like me, talks like me,
Now those are
thinks
important.
like me, that's where my thing is because we all know somebody who's gonna be in the system.
But
Those are important.
that's my question though, and that's why I like Gary Chambers, right?
Okay.
Because
I gotta do some research.
I
on
look
that.
at, certain politicians, black politicians that run for office or maybe appointed to certain positions and whatnot, right? And typically the question I ask myself is how much have they assimilated, right? And I don't mean that by like, you gotta be uncivil and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, just how much are they tied into the system,
Right.
Because once you're tied into it, like
You in
we
there.
all know down here that like that's it, you're done.
That's
You're
it,
not getting
yeah.
out of it, you know.
Exactly.
So how much of the backing of the people do you have, right? And I don't have very much faith in the United States political system at all, like absolutely none. Like I don't make it a point to do this, but I discourage people from voting, right? You know what I mean?
No, I don't go that far. I encourage you to do what you want to do.
I mean, and I say that because of this, you know, because like we've done that forever. Like it's time to try something else.
Yeah.
I don't know what that something else is. I really don't. You know, if I did, maybe I'll be the next Carl, Martin Luther, Malcolm X, whatever. You know,
Carl X is
shit, you know what I mean? I don't know what that is, right? But I do know this. Like, it's not working. You know, something's got to change. I don't know what that change is, but something's got to shake, man.
Angry Principal, I know we butt heads on this, dog, but I want you to just tell me. I know that you're optimistic in this, you know, in this political system, as far as getting people in there that can disrupt the system, I guess. But like, how do you see that as being possible? I guess is the question. And maybe I'm just a pessimist. Maybe I just don't see it being possible. Maybe I can get the greatest nigga in that bitch. See, it's like this, dog. We moved. Or I ain't gonna say we, because we didn't start at local level, but the people moved Obama from a neighborhood nigga to a community activist to a senator and to the presidency. And what exactly did that do for us?
All right, so I hear
So
that.
you get the good motherfucker in there, but then like,
I hear that all.
Yeah.
We hear that all the time about what did he actually do. So did he specifically go towards an issue that black people definitely had to have taken care of?
that's an astounding no.
No, he did not.
Right.
But what he did do was make things for people who happen to be in the same economic situation get a little bit bigger piece of the pie. Our problem is we don't necessarily use our buying power and that money that we have behind us for the right things. Our priorities are wrong. Our priorities are not necessarily where they need to be for us to take over.
So we fucking up opportunities.
So now, okay, so right now, the four of us, we talk about investing a lot. But that conversation is not happening with that 22-year-old. It is now because cryptocurrency is coming through. And it's something that they understand more so than we do.
Yeah.
In my situation, I don't understand it as well. So some of that 22-year-old is understanding that digital real estate and that
Metaverse shit.
everything in the metaverse. They're understanding that. If they use that for the right reasons and for the right way to influence the powers that be out there, you're talking about a monumental change just in buying power, how you use the money.
So
It's all about that cash.
So just-
how you actually use it.
So look at that. Look at what you just said about the crypto and how this younger generation is into that. Like they know how to do this shit, the NFT shit, which we go talk about in a little bit, not on air but off air because we got some shit to work out. But that shit, the metaverse, all this shit, this is new shit though, right? So and they can take advantage of that and maybe get some economical power and shit. Maybe shift the paradigm. But like, just look at that shit though. We're talking about crypto, shit that don't even fucking exist. Somebody went in that bitch and like, let's just do something completely different and see how that worked out. When a nigga did something completely different, it works out for our benefit. So completely different, it's not voting for these niggas.
No, hold on. But what if my man, what's the name again, Chambers?
Yeah.
What if he went in and got his own digital real estate in the metaverse and he used that as a part of his campaign? Now all of a sudden he's tapping into something that none of these other politicians are doing. And now you've got control over a whole branch of people that normally would not be a part of the voting system, but you're using it to your advantage. That's the kind of stuff that we have to take advantage of. It's our priorities are wrong.
Okay.
Our priorities are totally wrong. If I'm taking this $1,000, I got an extra $1,000 sitting in my bank account. Am I going to go buy something that I can put on my feet, or am I going to invest in trying to support a candidate in the metaverse and give that person more exposure and clout out there in the metaverse and bring more young people in to vote? What's our priority?
And just so you know, we probably gave somebody a whole idea at this point. So we want to patent that shit.
Right, exactly.
I'm gonna tag every politician that's trying to get voted in right now.
Oh,
We're gonna tag all these.
Politicians are on it, believe me that.
They own it. But no, that's really it.
Right.
Okay. I give you that.
Priorities.
I give you
Our
that.
priorities are
You made that connection that I didn't think you was gonna
And
make.
here's my thing about that. Not that I'm going against what you said, it's just different perspective.
Yeah.
I'm not a capitalist, right? So I'm not in this for wealth accumulation. I'm just in this for just to be able just to have enough to do what I
you
want
wanna
to do with
do.
my life. You know what I mean?
Without
Go
stress.
out, if I want to go out and fish all day or whatever, do whatever work I need to do, and then I can go do that and not stress about anything else, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to worry about money always being the motivating factor. And whether we admit it or not, you know, people always trying to say, well, I do this and I do that. Like, money is our motivating factor in the West, you know, for the most part, you know.
Because of where we live.
And look, I don't believe in capitalist, you know, ideology. I don't. I believe in socialist, you know, borderline communist ideology, right? Like, everybody does enough to do what they do to contribute, and then you get what you get out of that, right? And you go do what you want to do with
And
it.
you live a happy life.
Yeah, and you know, you live the life you want to live. But I think it's gotten to the point where, you know, obviously, you know, Black Americans have been here for so long that we see that as success now. Like, you know, people that go out and do it. I mean, look at Ricky Williams.
Yeah.
You know, he went out and did his own thing. Like, that was success to him.
And he's happy.
People clown him.
Happy.
You wasted the career. You did this. You did that. This motherfucker don't give a fuck about none of that.
Exactly.
He is living the life he wants to live, right?
Yeah.
So I think it also comes down to, like, what do you consider, you know, success? What is your ideology, right?
Yeah.
You know,
A lot of people's success is thriving on dominating others, to having the most or getting the most.
You're right.
That's just what it is.
and that's what that's what society has bred us to do. We're always in competition. We always. All right. I don't give a fuck about what you do.
Right.
I want to have just enough of what I want to do, have enough to eat, take care of my own, and go walk out in the woods and eat motherfucking strawberries and shit.
Whatever I want to do.
Look, like,
I ain't gotta have 400 million.
I don't want no fucking mega yacht, no shit like that. That shit ain't important to me.
That's
Right.
You know,
That's it, dog. Live my motherfucking life.
And that's why. That's my whole thing, and why I'm so on this Gary Chambers, train, because it's not so much about resources and money and financial literacy and all this. It's about being just who the fuck you want to be.
Yeah, and being able to do it.
Yeah, and be able to do that shit. Without
yeah.
just like, just being able to do that shit.
That's it. I'm about to research, dog. So I might fuck around and vote.
I'm there 100%. I do believe you should be doing what you want to do, how you want to do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you still got to work within the system to make shit better for yourself.
I know. I
And you
fucking
have
hate
to
the
do that,
system.
'cause that's where we're at.
nigga
Way around there.
It's not.
It's
not.
Nigga like the weeds in the South.
Yeah.
Not right now, it's not.
But if we put our stuff
Mississippi,
together
Georgia.
and start changing our mindset, you talking about a serious shift in this country.
Yeah.
Just based on, because everybody want to be a part of the culture.
Yeah.
And I don't use that term very, very often, but
It's the truth.
culture is serious. Look at the Super Bowl halftime show. Everybody, and I mean everybody who don't look like me enjoyed that.
Yeah, for sure.
They're the ones who made him. The reason that all those guys get up there on stage, as rich as they are, is because people who don't look like us
Bought into it and shit. Yeah, for sure.
go in.
Yeah.
You saw some of those videos where some of the older white people that were in their 40s and 50s started jumping up and dancing at that music.
Yeah.
That's their music.
That was their music.
That was that music, yeah, for sure.
They grew up on that stuff. So the stuff is, we just have to change the way we think and use the stuff to our
Y'all still can't say nigga though. Alright.
Don't do it. Get all that shit out at the house.
It's gonna be all like mayonnaise, whipped cream at that party. They better not be like no.
That nigga said
whipped-
mayonnaise and whipped cream, man. The whitest substances on earth.
I'll give you an example. I was talking to my old man when that halftime show was going on. I don't want to see this stuff. I said, Dad, this is what I grew up on. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
It's still, you got the difference.
The divide even on us.
Difference in.
It's a time divide. It's a time divide. Yeah.
But right now, this is the time when the iron's hot, strike.
Yeah,
We
for
should
sure.
be changing our mindset and doing what we need to do for us.
I've always said that's the biggest failing of the whole George Floyd protests, right? It never made any demands. It just showed motherfuckers you was mad,
Right.
but you never asked for shit.
So that was gonna be my next question and shit. So we do all the voting. We get the people that we want to be in there, or the people that follow the same ideology that we have and shit. So I guess going back to the George Floyd thing, like, so we get them people in place. What the fuck exactly do we want? I guess that's the question. What do we want?
I think the one constant, and every probably every black person, because we're just as diverse as any other people on this planet. Probably every
Amongst
black
ourselves,
person is gonna say something different. But me, it's reparations.
Yeah, that's it.
Me, it's free college.
This
Which can be part of reparations. Yeah, for sure.
This is
If
the
you give that to us, I'm good.
hey, supposedly the only superpower on this planet. Because of why?
Right.
Because of free labor.
Free labor, for sure.
That's why.
me the land.
How many businesses would
So you
thrive
got
if
land.
they had free labor? all of them. You know.
Yeah. So yeah, so let's talk about that real quick. Then we go get out of here because we've been on for an hour already. So we gonna jump off after this. But we gonna go around one time and shit. I just want to ask y'all and shit. We gonna start with you, Q. While we talking about the subject of reparations, what do you think that would look like for you? Like, what would be good reparations for you? Like, if they said this is the reparations plan, this is what we give y'all niggas. Like, what would you want?
Give me the land.
Yeah.
Give me my land back.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I know my ancestors worked on the plantations.
Yeah.
Like, did it with their bare hands. Like,
Yeah.
give me my land back. We own that.
So now you get the land. Now it's up to you to fuck it up. If like that's your fault.
Fuck it up.
I'm just saying, like, looking at that, like, so if you get that as part of reparations, then now you get to absolve all of the blame from them. You get that. Now it's up to you. You fuck it up after that.
I'm good with that.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, exactly. So you're good at that. Now, speaking of land and shit, real quick, shout out to the Tusk Spirits and shit. What was dog name? Mo?
Yeah.
From Tusk. These dudes was from down in, I'm tripping, Tennessee? Virginia. Right. So his great grandma, I think it was.
Grandfather.
Grandfather had some land, like right after slavery and shit. So like they was sharecroppers or some shit, but they had the land. So they passed it down from generation to generation. It got to his generation, and they decided to actually do hemp fields in it, right? So they started using the hemp to replace the wheat in liquor. So they started making gin and vodka and shit out this shit, which is very motherfucking good.
So
I'm talking about.
I'm not a vodka.
I'm not a vodka drinker, dog, but that shit was fire. So shout out to my mans. But that's just one of the things, though. Like they have been passing this land down forever and not really doing nothing with it. And dog, like, you know what? We need to do something with this shit to create some generational wealth. And now they got a whole spirits company. Like, so this is the thing. Like that opportunity is there. Like you said, if you did get the land. So I think that's definitely one of the important parts. But like you wouldn't want nothing else. Like that's it. Just
Your own land.
that's it.
Grow the flowers.
Big C, what'd you say, dog? Reparations, what would they look like to you?
For me, it's free college and free medical care. Having just
Facts.
gone through the medical system with my parents.
Yeah, that shit's expensive.
That free medical care and not having to go through all the hoops and jumping through all that crap.
It's a blessing.
Really important. But then the free college is so that all these kids have options. You may not finish, but at least you have the option.
Yeah.
I want options for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's what a college degree for me does.
Gotcha.
It gives my kids, your nephews, nieces, they gives them options so that they can make their own way through life. So give me free college so that my kids have options, and then you give me some free medical care so people don't have to go through this. 'Cause medical care is a right. I don't care what
Man,
anybody says, but
it should be.
right.
It should
not
be.
be a profit-making system.
Right.
Your citizens being healthy and being able to find quality medical care should be just an equal, an easy one.
Yeah, you should want that. you would think.
But unfortunately, it's a $1 billion industry.
It is.
They want every dime that they can get. But free college education and free medical care, those two things I would want.
Yeah, for sure. Just piggybacking on that real quick before we get to you, Bo. You was mentioning about the medical shit. I was watching this joint on Netflix called What If. This is some old shit from like 2019. And it was like, the premise was like indecent proposal type shit. But that's besides the point. So the thing is, the chick had came up with this biomedical scientific shit where, I forgot exactly what it did, but it was going to allow them to like treat people's cancer cells and shit like some new way they had never explored and shit, right? So she figured all this shit out, and this lady came through and she wanted to purchase, basically be an angel investor, right? So the indecent proposal part was like she could spend the night with her husband and she'll give you this money or whatever, right? So that's how that shit happened. That ain't got nothing to do with the story. But the thing is that her whole thing was that she wanted to buy the rights to it and shit because ultimately what she was gonna do was take the company, put it up for make it public and make Big Pharma be like, nigga, fuck that, we gotta get that shit, so I'm gonna pay you however many billions, which is usually how Big Pharma work. If you come up with a concept that's gonna cure a nigga of cancer, they don't need your ass, so they gonna pay you to get the fuck on.
Because all these Big Pharma want to do, they want to treat the symptoms. They
Exactly.
don't cure anything.
Exactly, dog. So you looking at some, you looking at some shit like that. So if you had free medical care and shit, that would X shit like that out the game. And man, ain't no way in the hell they'll let that happen. No, ain't no way in the hell.
Too much money involved.
It's too much money, dog.
Pharmaceutical game.
But that would be the lick though. So definitely, I agree with you on that though. But Bo, what you say, dog? Reparations, what would that look like for you, bro?
reparations, man. It's land.
Yeah.
You know, the money, you know, a check
Not as important for you.
A check is good as far as
I definitely
the
want the
person
check.
that's giving it to you. You know,
Facts.
if something happens a month from now, 2 months from now, or, you know, 5 years from now, then that's just no more good, right?
Right.
And you can possibly say the same thing about land. People that granted it to you, you know, whatever. But at least with land, I'm on it. I can defend it.
Right.
You know, it's mine. I have it.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
And where it's money, you know, just like we saw on CNN, you know, it's the government could just freeze your assets just that easily, just like they did in Russia. You know,
Hell yeah.
just boom, and that shit's gone.
When your money gone.
You know,
Yeah.
and, you know, educate. You know, medical care. I totally agree with Angry Principal there. You know, absolutely. Because medical care is one of the things that, if you read this book called Medical Apartheid, it almost brings you to tears about some of the stories that some people in this country, not in third world, in this country, they can't afford medical care and they've got to suffer through some of the things they suffer through, right?
Exactly.
And that should not happen in this fucking country,
Right.
Especially when we all pay the taxes that we fucking pay and shit like that.
Exactly.
Right? That shit shouldn't happen. So land, definitely number one. Medical care would be, you know, probably like
Close
1B or some shit like
1B.
that, right? You know,
Right.
but yeah, you know, I want some shit that's tangible, some shit I can see, I can feel, I can step on, I can touch.
Yeah, gotcha.
You know, and if necessary, I can defend.
Exactly. And I never looked at it like that though. The whole land part, like this is my land, I can defend it at that point. I hadn't looked at it like that and shit though. Yeah, so when I look at it and shit, I was actually on the same path as Angry Principal as far as the free education and the free medical. Now that y'all talk about the land though, I see that as well. But I think with that, damn, I guess I'm asking for a lot now. I guess with that,
Why not? Though?
I need some.
Think about the shit that was.
I need some free
that's been
taxes too,
accomplished
though.
on the back of our people, like
Facts.
literally.
Yeah, facts.
This the only country in history that's ever been like this.
Yeah.
Ever been like this.
Because the reality of it is this, dog. You could give reparations, and we could get, let's say we get the land, we get the free education, and we get the free medical care, right? So I know what fears
Let me get that dub me while you at it, though.
the weakest of the three is the weakest of the three.
This cash strength is no joke.
I know. That's why. Hey, look, I'm back to my original glass.
It's found smooth amblers. Good.
Yeah, all it,
good.
everything we had today was dope though and shit. And if y'all get to check out the episode on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but we got Bells, me, Stellum, and what was the other one? Smooth Amber. What was Ambler? Yeah, Ambler. What was I saying though? I got fucked up. Oh yeah, so we get all that shit right. And it's the thing. I know that white America is often, at least they peddle this kind of fear. They are often fearful that we'll somehow super shift the paradigm and shit, and everything just we gonna be super powerful. But the reality of it is that you can give niggas all of this shit, but it's still only gonna be that certain percentage of people who actually take advantage of it, who actually rise to the top of things. So I think that even with that fear of giving people reparations, you gotta know that a lot of motherfuckers still gonna fail. Like they not gonna know what to do with it. They gonna fuck it off. Like that's just what happens. So don't you know what I'm saying? Don't penalize us. Us who will fully take advantage of this shit. And again, why are we asking for shit that's fucking ours? Why are we asking for shit that's owed to us any fucking way? Like you shouldn't have to ask for shit that a nigga owe you. Like if a nigga owe you something, why I gotta keep asking you for that shit?
Let me ask you all this. So where does, I don't even really know what the term is now, Native Americans, indigenous people, whatever. Where do they fall in line? And also, where do Black Americans fall in line that maybe their ancestors not from here, they immigrated from here, from Haiti, Nigeria, from whatever. Right? So how does that come into play? Because a lot of them are like, hey man, this place is fucking great. We don't need shit.
Yeah, because they ain't been in the same situation.
I get that, right?
This a better situation than where they came.
I get that, right?
Yeah.
But think about the position of the opposition, right? We've got Black Americans say you guys don't need this shit.
Right. Yeah.
Like you can't even decide what you want amongst yourselves and shit, right?
Yeah.
So why why should we give you anything? Or why should we capitulate? You know, whatever it is, right?
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying I have an answer. I wish I did, but like, my question is, how do we treat that?
How do we treat that? Like, basically the end fight between ourselves and shit, basically.
Exactly, right? Because that's
a part of it.
The age-old tactic again, right? You know,
Black on black, right? Black on black.
We get y'all this, we get y'all that. That's between y'all, not us.
Figure
that shit out, right?
But Native Americans got messed over though too, man.
For sure.
They kind of came over here and just stomped on them.
I mean, they did, right?
Yeah.
They really did, you know. But here's my thing about that. I'm not Native American.
That's true.
You know,
That shit don't concern
so I'm not concerned about it, right?
Yeah.
That's what Native Americans.
Our fight's our fight.
Exactly.
Like, I guess.
And that's the thing that this is just my opinion, obviously. I think that too many black people get concerned about is what is happening with other people. You know, yes, we are compassionate people. Yes, we care about others. I get it.
Too much often.
But sometimes you got to be like, fuck that. You know, what's happening in my own house? We got to fix shit here.
Right.
Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much my whole feelings on Ukraine.
Right, because even though, again, empathetic with those, because with people who are under attack, I guess we would call it. But at the same time, or maybe like, because we don't know. According to our view, and we've all learned that view is often skewed.
Often.
You know what I'm saying? Starting back way further back, but what we can attest to for sure is Vietnam. We can all attest to that because we either had family members who were in Vietnam and shit, you know what I'm saying, direct connect to those situations where they made Vietnamese people look like the worst people, or like this whole situation was just some crazy shit, right? But then we get over there and realize like them niggas over there getting treated like we was, like in real life. Like my old man used to tell me stories about how they would be out in the field, and I said we was getting ready to get off. We really getting ready to get off, but how they would be out there and shit, and a lot of black people got let go. Because they was like, shit, we know what y'all going through, cuz, go on, get the fuck on. Like, for real, like, and I didn't believe that. I didn't believe that at first. But then other Vietnam veterans was telling me the same shit. Where they been in spots where they should have got murdered. And them motherfuckers like,
Gone.
yeah, go on, nigga, because y'all ain't who we looking for.
We ain't looking for you.
Exactly, and I'm just like...
Well, I'll tell you what, man, like, whatever goodwill we had, we used that shit up in fucking Iraq and Afghanistan.
It's over now.
Niggas is over there murking niggas. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what it was.
now,
for them. You know what I mean?
Now we on their level and shit.
I mean, I'm not saying we on their level. I'm just saying we fighting their battles again and shit, right? And that's we always have this discussion, but you know, and like I even told my young lions this. I was like, I don't recommend any black man going to the military, even though I did it, and things worked out well for me. You know, as far as like on paper, what my career and shit like looks like, you know, but I don't recommend that for any black man.
I mean, hey, look, that's the same thing. And again, being angry principal always both heads on this as well. But of course, I've got a college degree. But I ain't gonna be the one.
I think everyone down here does. Right?
I ain't gonna be the one to tell a nigga to go to school. I'm like, I ain't gonna do it.
First, I want to tell you, no, if you find something else to do,
do it. Do that shit.
do it.
Completely understand.
Do that
You
shit.
got that $1 million business or something that's gonna maintain your lifestyle.
Do that shit. Yeah.
At the same time, options.
If the option, like if you get to go see for free, hell yeah. I mean, let me go see if this works.
Let me see.
I would have wanted to see a lot of shit for free. Nigga, I see it. It's like dog face. It's all about the options though.
Options, yeah.
On that note, dog, we had a great happy hour and shit, dog. Again, check out the next episode. We will be actually reviewing all 3 of these, as you see in the camera here. We'll have a blind taste test coming up probably a few weeks after that. We'll figure that out. But thanks again for checking us out. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and share it with some friends, dog, because all we doing right now is having a happy hour, dog, reviewing some bourbon, talking shit about, you know what I'm saying?
Current events.
Yeah, current events and shit. Not often at all gonna be about politics, because I fucking hate talking about politics. But obviously we had to talk about it a little bit today. Again, hit that like, share, subscribe, all that good shit, dog. Till the next time, we will be back. You already know what it is, man. Everybody loves BBW, dog. That's Beards Bourbon Whiskey. All right, I got my man Q in the building again.
Big boned women.
Big boned women, dog. My man ain't replaceable, dog.
Treat what you like, how you like.
My man Bo holding it down.
I say.
And of course, man, it's your boy Q Lewis holding it down live from the 48205, man. Peace out, y'all.
Big boned women.